There's a moment coming into your life that will feel almost unreal, like something shifted in the unseen before it ever showed up in your hands. This isn't luck. This isn't coincidence. This is divine orchestration. And if you're hearing this right now, it's not by accident, it's confirmation. God is about to elevate you in a way that will leave people speechless. But here's the part no one talks about. Not every blessing is meant to be announced. Not every breakthrough is meant to be broadcast. Because when God places abundance in your life, He's not just testing your capacity to receive, He's testing your ability to protect what He gave you. You've been through silent battles. You've endured seasons where nobody clapped for you, nobody checked on you, and nobody understood you. And now, the reward is coming quietly, but powerfully. Chosen one, when you get rich, tell no one. Why? Because not everyone who smiled with you is meant to sit with you in your next level. Some people are connected to your past, not your promise. This message is deeper than money. It's about spiritual wisdom, discernment, and divine timing. So stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will shift how you move, how you think, and how you protect your blessings forever. And if you feel this message speaking directly to your spirit, make sure you subscribe right now. Because what's coming next is something only the chosen will truly understand. Silence protects sacred blessings. There are blessings that shine, and then there are blessings that must grow in the dark before they ever shine at all. The mistake many people make is exposing what God is still forming. But sacred things are not meant to be handled by every eye, every opinion, or every energy. In Matthew 6:3, we are given a profound instruction. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. This is not just about humility, it is about spiritual intelligence. It is about understanding that some of the most powerful moves God makes in your life require privacy, not publicity. When God begins to bless you, it often starts quietly. A shift in your mindset, an unexpected opportunity, a door opening that no one else sees yet. And in that moment, your silence becomes your shield. Because the early stages of a blessing are fragile. Just like a seed beneath the soil, it doesn't need attention, it needs protection. Not every listener is assigned to celebrate you. Some are sent to question, to doubt, or even to disrupt. And while you may not see it physically, there is always a spiritual atmosphere surrounding what God is building. Your silence keeps that atmosphere pure. Quiet obedience is powerful. It tells God, I trust you enough not to rush the process or seek validation. And in return, God strengthens what He's given you until it becomes undeniable. So learn this deeply. When God blesses you, resist the urge to announce it. Protect it, nurture it, move differently. Because what is built in silence carries a power that noise can never produce. Not everyone can handle your elevation. Elevation is beautiful, but it is also revealing. When God begins to lift you, it doesn't just change your life. It exposes the hearts of the people around you. What you thought was support can quietly turn into comparison. What looked like love can slowly become discomfort, because not everyone is prepared to witness the version of you that God is creating. Spiritual growth always separates. It shifts your mindset, your priorities, your energy, and that shift won't always align with the people who were comfortable with your old level. Some people celebrated you when you were struggling, when you were accessible, when you were easy to understand. But the moment you begin to rise, to think differently, to move with purpose, something changes. In Genesis 37, Joseph made the mistake of sharing his vision too early. He spoke what God showed him to people who were not spiritually mature enough to receive it, and instead of support, it stirred jealousy. Instead of encouragement, it created opposition. His elevation was real, but the environment around him wasn't ready for it. That same pattern still exists today. Not everyone clapping for you is aligned with you. Some are watching closely, trying to understand how you're rising. Others are silently measuring themselves against you, and some are simply uncomfortable because your growth reminds them of where they are. This is why wisdom matters. You don't have to announce every level. You don't have to explain every blessing. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to grow quietly, and let people adjust to the results later. Because elevation is not just about going higher, it's about outgrowing spaces, mindsets, and sometimes people. And that's not rejection. That's alignment. Wealth is a test of the heart. There's a truth many people overlook. Wealth is not just a blessing, it is a mirror. It reflects who you are when pressure is removed, when options increase, and when no one can easily tell you no. Money doesn't transform your character, it reveals it. When God allows wealth to enter your life, He is not only rewarding your faithfulness, He is examining your heart at a deeper level. Can you handle increase without losing your humility? Can you grow without becoming arrogant? Can you be trusted with more without forgetting who gave it to you? In Luke 16:10, it says, "Whoever is faithful in little is also faithful in much." That means the real test isn't the money itself, it's the mindset you carry into it. If your spirit was undisciplined before, wealth will amplify it. If your heart was grounded, wealth will expand your impact. This is why silence becomes so powerful in seasons of increase. When you move quietly, you remove the temptation to perform, to impress, or to prove something to others. You stay centered, you remain intentional. You remember that what you have is not just for display, it's for purpose. Because wealth handled without wisdom becomes noise, but wealth handled with discipline becomes legacy. God is not just looking for people who can receive abundance. He is looking for people who can carry it correctly. People who understand that true riches are not measured by what you show, but by what you sustain. So when your life begins to elevate financially, don't let your voice rise with it. Let your character speak louder than your possessions. Because in the end, it's not about how much you have. It's about how well you handle what God placed in your hands. Spiritual warfare increases with visibility. There is a dimension of life many people don't talk about. The higher you rise, the more visible you become. And visibility attracts attention from realms you cannot always see. Not every battle announces itself physically. Some resistance is spiritual, subtle, and strategic. In Ephesians 6:12, we are reminded that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. That means not every opposition you face is coming from people. Some of it is energy, influence, and unseen warfare triggered by your growth, your purpose, and your elevation. When your life is quiet, your battles are often quieter. But when your success becomes loud, it draws eyes, conversations, and attention, both positive and negative. And while celebration may come, so can envy, projection, and spiritual resistance. This is why wisdom says, don't expose everything. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It reduces unnecessary attention. It limits access. It keeps your focus anchored in God rather than scattered across opinions, expectations, and unseen pressures. Not everyone watching you is celebrating you. Some are studying you, some are questioning you, and some are unconsciously projecting their own limitations onto your life. But when you move in silence, you remain covered, you stay aligned, you protect your energy and your peace. You allow God to handle what you cannot see, because sometimes the safest way to grow is quietly. Let your results speak later. Let your life reveal what your mouth never had to announce. Because what God is doing in you is too powerful to be exposed prematurely and too sacred to be disrupted by unnecessary visibility. Protect it, guard it, move wisely. God moves in secrecy before revelation. There is a divine pattern God follows. He develops in private what he plans to reveal in public. What looks like silence in your life is often sacred construction. While nothing seems to be happening on the outside, everything is being aligned behind the scenes. God is intentional about timing. He doesn't expose what hasn't been strengthened. He doesn't reveal what hasn't been refined. Because premature visibility can damage what hasn't fully matured. Even Jesus Christ spent years in obscurity before stepping into his purpose. Before the miracles, before the crowds, before the recognition, there was a hidden season. A season of preparation, discipline, and alignment with God. And that's where many people misunderstand their lives. They think silence means delay. They think invisibility means denial. But in reality, it's divine protection. God is shielding you from exposure that could overwhelm you if it came too soon. When your life begins to shift, when opportunities start appearing, when doors begin to open, there will be a temptation to announce it, to show it, to make it known. But wisdom whispers, wait, let it settle, let it grow roots, let it become stable, because anything revealed too early can be misunderstood, mishandled, or even attacked before it becomes strong enough to stand. God is not trying to hide you, He's trying to prepare you. And when the time is right, when what He placed inside you is fully formed, He will reveal it in a way that no one can question, deny, or stop. Until then, embrace the hidden season, because what God builds in secrecy carries a weight of glory that public attention could never produce. Announcement attracts unnecessary energy. There is power in knowing when to speak, but there is even greater power in knowing when to stay silent. Because the moment you announce something, you don't just share information, you invite energy. Every word you release creates a reaction. Some people will celebrate you, yes, but others will question you, doubt you, compare themselves to you, or even compete with you silently. And the truth is, not all energy is meant to mix with what God is doing in your life. In Proverbs 21:23, it says, "Whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble." That's not just about avoiding conflict, it's about protecting your spiritual atmosphere. Because before something becomes visible, it is vulnerable. When you speak too early, you expose your plans to opinions that were never assigned to guide you. You open doors to voices that can plant doubt, fear, or confusion, sometimes subtly, sometimes directly. And even when people mean well, their understanding may not align with what God showed you. Silence filters access. It allows you to move with clarity, without the pressure of explaining yourself. It keeps your focus on obedience, not approval. It preserves your peace and protects your direction. Not everything needs validation. Not everything needs an audience. Some things need alignment, prayer, and time. Because the less people know, the less interference they can introduce spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. So when God begins to elevate you, resist the urge to announce every step. Let your progress be quiet. Let your results speak later. Because what is protected in silence is sustained in strength. Discernment is greater than excitement. There's a subtle but powerful difference between excitement and discernment, and your next level will demand that you master it. Excitement celebrates what is happening. Discernment protects how it unfolds. When something good enters your life, the natural instinct is to share it, to speak, to celebrate, to let others in on what God is doing. But spiritual maturity whispers a different instruction. Pause. Not everything that feels good should be spoken immediately. Discernment asks deeper questions. Who is assigned to this information? Who has the capacity to handle it? Is this the right time or just the right feeling? Because timing is everything. In Proverbs 4-7 it says, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom." And discernment is wisdom in action. It's the ability to sense what is right, beyond what is exciting. Excitement can make you loud. Discernment makes you intentional. It teaches you that some moments are meant to be experienced, not announced. Some blessings are meant to be nurtured in silence before they are revealed in strength. Because when you speak too soon, you risk exposing something that is still forming. Discernment protects your peace. It shields you from unnecessary opinions, misplaced advice, and energy that doesn't align with your assignment. And most importantly, it keeps you in sync with God's timing, not your emotions. So as your life begins to shift, learn to slow down your words even when your heart is racing. Learn to sit with your blessings before you speak about them, because not every open door needs an announcement. Some doors need wisdom to walk through quietly. And when you master that, you don't just grow, you grow securely. Your blessing is between you and God first. Before anyone ever sees the evidence of your elevation, there was a conversation in the spirit. Before the doors opened, before the money came, before the opportunities aligned, there was God. working behind the scenes, carrying you through moments no one else understood. That's why every blessing is personal before it is public. In James 1:17, it says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above." This means what you have is not sluchai or self-made, it is divinely assigned. And when you truly understand that, your perspective changes. You stop feeling the need to announce everything because you recognize that your blessing is not for display, it's for purpose. Some things are sacred. Not everything God gives you is meant to be explained to people. Some testimonies are too holy to be handled casually. Some breakthroughs are too deep to be reduced to conversations, because the same people who see the outcome didn't witness the process, the prayers, the tears, the waiting, the quiet obedience. So why rush to make it public? When you keep your blessings between you and God first, you protect their meaning, you preserve their purity, you stay grounded in gratitude instead of drifting into performance. You begin to move differently, not for attention, but for alignment. Because when your focus stays on God, you don't need validation from people. You don't measure your progress by applause. You measure it by obedience, by peace, and by purpose. And in that space, something powerful happens. You remain humble, even in abundance. So as God elevates you, remember this deeply. Before it belongs to the world, it belongs to Him. Honor that. Protect that. Because what is kept sacred carries a presence that cannot be explained, only felt. Privacy preserves peace. There is a kind of peace that only grows in places where not everyone has access. A quiet, steady, unshakable peace that isn't influenced by opinions, expectations, or outside noise. And the truth is that kind of peace is fragile when exposed to too many voices. Not everything in your life is meant to be public, because the more people know, the more weight you carry. Opinions begin to form. Expectations begin to rise. And before you realize it, you're no longer just living, you're managing perceptions. But peace was never designed to be managed. It was designed to be protected. In Philippians 4-7, it speaks of the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. That kind of peace doesn't come from what people think about you, it comes from being aligned with God, undistracted and undisturbed. Privacy helps you stay there. When you keep certain parts of your life to yourself, you remove unnecessary pressure. You free yourself from the need to explain, to defend, or to prove anything. You move at your own pace, guided by purpose, not by public opinion. Because the truth is, not everyone who has access to your life adds value to your spirit. Some conversations drain you, some energies confuse you, some people, even unintentionally, disrupt your focus. And the more exposed you are, the more you open yourself to that weight. But when you choose privacy, you choose peace. You give yourself the freedom to grow quietly, to succeed without noise, and to enjoy your blessings without interference. Because not every victory needs to be announced. Some victories need to be experienced, fully, deeply, and privately. And in that space, your peace doesn't just survive, it thrives. God rewards those who move wisely. There is a difference between being blessed and being able to sustain the blessing. Many people pray for elevation, but few prepare for the wisdom required to maintain it. Because in God's system, increase is not just given, it is entrusted. God watches how you move when doors begin to open, not just what you receive, but how you carry it. Do you become impulsive, loud, and eager to prove something? Or do you become more grounded, more discerning, more aligned? In Ecclesiastes 10:2 it says, "The heart of the wise inclines to the right," meaning wisdom directs your path, your decisions, and your response to success. And one of the clearest signs of wisdom is restraint. Wise people don't expose everything. They don't rush to announce every win. They understand that silence is not hiding, it is positioning. Because when you move wisely, you protect what you've been given. You avoid unnecessary attention. You stay focused on purpose instead of performance. You make decisions that are led by clarity, not emotion. And most importantly, you remain teachable, even in abundance. God is not just looking for people who can receive blessings, He is looking for people who can handle them correctly. People who won't let success corrupt their character or distract them from their assignment. Because blessings without wisdom become temporary, but blessings managed with wisdom become legacy. So as your life begins to elevate, don't just pray for more, pray for wisdom, pray for discipline, pray for discernment. Because when God sees that you can move wisely with what He has given you, He has no reason to stop increasing you. And that's when your life shifts from occasional blessing to sustained overflow. There's a reason this message found you, and it's not random. You're stepping into a season where everything begins to change: your mindset, your environment, your access, and yes, your level. But with that elevation comes a responsibility that many people overlook. The responsibility to move differently. This is not the time to be loud. This is not the time to prove anything. This is the time to be intentional, disciplined, and spiritually aware. Because what God is about to place in your hands is not ordinary. It's not just money. It's not just opportunity. It's a shift, one that requires wisdom, silence, and alignment to sustain. Remember this deeply. Not everyone needs to know what God is doing in your life. Some things are meant to be protected until they are fully established. Move quietly, pray deeply, stay grounded, and let your life speak when the time is right. Because when God blesses you in silence, the results will be so undeniable that no explanation will be needed. If this message spoke to your spirit, don't ignore it. This is your confirmation. Make sure you subscribe, stay connected, and don't miss what's coming next, because the next message might be the one that unlocks everything for you. And always remember, you're not just chosen to be blessed, you're chosen to carry it wisely.